Hello again, welcome back to another video, welcome back to HefCo. Today I've got something a little different going on. I got a half already disassembled ZX6R behind me. My plan for this is to clean this bike up, polish it. I'm going to try to ceramic coat it. I've never done that before, but I got a DIY kit. We're going to do that. We're going to do a little bit of maintenance on this thing. So this is not my bike. I don't think I've made any videos, but this has been sitting off in the side, taking up some space for a little while I figured what to do with it and gathered some parts. So this is my friend Steve's bike. Steve, you may know him from the Haunted Nights YouTube channel. Steve and I got talking one night, and he said that he hasn't done any maintenance on this thing, that he hasn't done anything, basically from my understanding, other than washing it in the time that he's had it. So this is a beautiful bike. It's got 7,000 miles on it. I believe it's a 2007 ZX6R Special Edition. My favorite part about the bike, it is literally just called a Special Edition. It's not a midnight edition, it's just a special edition. I love that. He said there are a bunch of stickers all over the side of it he took off. But it still keeps the red wheels, some red hardware. But we're gonna get started. I've had this thing for too long now. I've been keeping it away from him. He's been gone all over the road filming stuff for his YouTube channel. But now that I've done enough jumping around here, what we're gonna do, I've polished one vehicle before in my life, okay? And it was my own personal vehicle. I'll put in a clip of it. It looked pretty good, except I learned very quickly after polishing a vehicle, it grabs all the little dirt and particulates and it shows all of your swirls. So if you don't do anything to cover it back up, I mean, the truck still looked fine. It just had a few buff marks in it, but it was an older truck anyway. It had a bunch of miles on it. It was getting rusty. I figured it was a good vehicle to try it out on. So this is a little bit more high stakes. This is not mine. So I want to do a good job on it, is what I'm getting at. But motorcycles I've never done before. So we got a couple different areas we got here. This is plastic. So that's going to be one level of polishing. Plastic all down the sides. Metal gas tank, plastic on the back here. I don't believe I'm going to mess with any of this black plastic. I took a piece off here so I could get the seat away, so I could get on this painted surface on the inside here. But we're going to mask off the rest of the stuff I don't want to touch. I figured I'd get all the things out of the way, like the mirrors and stuff that are easy to come off. Going to mask off the headlights, this snout here in the front for the air intake. And we'll see if we can get into the fender. I might have to do that by hand. I don't think it's too scratched, but I want it all to look uniform, everything that's painted. So we're going to cover some stuff up with some masking tape. And, oh, now that I'm over here, this bike unfortunately has been down, but I guess it was just while it was being washed, the kickstand sunk into the dirt or something like that, so it's got this big batch of scratches. It's in a pretty good spot, because it's down underneath here. If you're standing up, you can't really see it. But I got some polish for it. We're gonna see if, I'm not gonna take them out because they're pretty deep, but I got some black paint restoring polish. And I'm gonna see if I can mask them a little bit, because this bike is in incredible condition. Now that I'm looking at it, it's got some adhesive and stuff that we gotta work with. So, all I've done with this thing so far is I got, where did I put it? Here it is. Not sponsored or anything. AllGuard Zero Wash Decontamination Prep Soap. So I washed this twice with decontamination wash, and I scrubbed the wheels up pretty good to try to get some brake dust off. I don't think I'm going to be able to polish. I'd have to take them off to polish them, and I don't have any paddock stands or anything like that to put this thing up on. So we're just going to try to get it just from a 10-foot walking up to it in a parking lot. I want this thing to just look killer. So we're going to see how that goes. What I do know about polishing is that heat is very important. Heat of your materials. You don't want to just burn in the same spot over and over and over again. That'll create too much heat in one area. And I'm thinking with plastic, that's going to heat up pretty quick. It is painted plastic, so it is just paint that I'm working with. But all I'm going to do is try to cut my losses. If I get a good result, if it starts to take some of the scratches and swirls and stuff out of it, I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead. So if you look at the bike through the camera, you can see me hanging out there. But it looks like it's in incredible condition. It is in pretty incredible condition, to be fair. 2007, this thing's got a lot of years on its life. But when you start looking, it's got a lot of swirls in this paint. So they look all pretty mild, luckily, but there's enough of them that it really shows the pattern of them. And when you're up close to this thing, you can really see, there it is. You can really see just how many marks are in this paint. So other than the obvious, there's a few scratches from the controls and whatnot. We'll try to get the rest of this adhesive off. I would assume this is from the stickers he was talking about. We'll see if we can mask those scratches a little bit. And here up on the tank too, you can really see the swirls. So we just want to bring this old girl back to life. That's about what I got. I'm not going to go too in depth on all that. But again, I have very little understanding of what I'm actually doing. I don't mean that in a way of I'm just haphazardly trying something. I've bought a bunch of stuff, I've done a bunch of research. I think I have a good idea of how to tackle this project. And Steven's been very accommodating with all of that. I said, do you want me to just wax it? Do you want me to try to ceramic coat it? I've never done it before, and you can mess it up. So I don't want to ruin his bike. But if he wants me to try something, and I think I can do it, I'm going to try it. And hopefully I don't have to get all new plastics for this thing. That would suck. But I want to just bring it back a little bit, get some of the swirls out, make it look just, make the paint look just wet again. Pretty sure that's what the detailers call it. Man, I sound like an old man when I say that. Anyway, so let's go over what we got here. So I have a 9-inch polisher. I don't think that would work very well for a lot of these little spots and corners and stuff. I know corners will wear through very fast because you're really digging on one area. So I went on Amazon and I got this SPTA, I believe it's just called a micro polisher. Came with a bunch of these little heads, 3-inch, 2-inch, and 1-inch heads. So there's a bunch of bags in here. I'm going to read the directions of what ones cut more or less. Polisher itself just looks like your average grinder, polisher, stuff like that. So I got the decent one off Amazon. I think it was 80 bucks or something like that. You may recognize this from the TikTok shop. This is where I got it. Renegade Products Black Paint Polish. Renegade Black Paint Polish. Not endorsed, wish it was. But I'm going to read the directions on this guy. It's supposed to be some sort of a masking agent. It's supposed to work specifically with black. I don't know if there's pigments or something in here, but however it works, I'm going to read the directions very carefully on how to apply that. I'm planning on just doing the entire bike in this paint polish. Again, I'm not a detailer. If you are, I'd love to know more information about what I should be doing so that I can do better next time. Got your average AutoZone clay bar kit. We're going to do that before we polish. So like I said, I did the decontamination wash. Should have everything stripped because I washed it twice. Clay bar kit. I was just going to do this and I was asking a couple friends, guy who really knows what he's doing. He said that a clay bar will make the paint dull. I forget the word that he used specifically, but it will mar the paint. It'll be noticeable if you don't do anything after the fact. And finally, Adams polishes. Again, this is an Amazon purchase. graphene ceramic coating kit. I believe this is the silver, so it's not supposed to last as long, but I believe it still says 7 years. So that's pretty good, especially if you store it inside. It's not always in the sun, it's not in the rain all the time, so it should last quite a long time. Watched a video on this, and this seemed to be the most durable of the ceramic coatings. So it didn't have the best water beating properties, but it lasted through degreaser and bug and tar remover and whatnot. So this looks very good, and I hope so because it was very expensive. But this is a whole kit. Comes with the applicators, comes with the products itself, a couple nice microfibers. There's spray bottles and little towels, and we'll go through this in a minute. But this is the whole kit. That's really what I liked about it, so I didn't have to piece together surface prep and whatnot. So I believe this is about all we're gonna go to town on this with. I think I'm only gonna clay bar the areas that I'm going to coat. That sounds logical to me. If I'm not messing with this textured plastic, then I'm just not gonna mess with it at all. So I got some painter's tape. I'm gonna get up along the edges here, cover up the stuff that I need to so I can keep it from getting marred. And then I'm gonna do a final little bit of research. I'm gonna account the Google device and see if I need to do anything else. But other than that, we should be pretty ready to go. So I guess let's see how this goes. Okay, we got a lot of tape on this thing now. If you're grading my taping, you're going to be disappointed, but in my mind, the important part is what's going to happen at the end. Granted, it doesn't look too bad in the camera, but up close it's pretty awful. So I only taped around the spots that I'm gonna have an edge that the buffer may roll into, because I want to get as close to the edge obviously as possible so you don't have a line on the side of it. Ooh, I should do the gas cap too. I'll come back and do that. Anyway, so we just got all the edges. This theoretically, if you hit the edge of this with the buffing wheel for too long, it's still going to mar it. It's going to burn through the tape, but this at least keeps it away so that you don't get any weird edges. So, got a lot of tape. I did this last time I polished my truck that I was talking about, and it worked quite well as long as you don't bump into it. Seems like a pretty common thing that people do. Really, by the looks of this whole thing, from what I can see, all this exposed hardware, really it should all come off, I'm assuming. All these panels, you probably have a good table to put it on or something, and you can polish it so you can get around all these edges and whatnot. So I'm just going to do the best I can with this. I don't have nearly enough room. I'd have to put it on the floor, and that would get destroyed, and I'd have to be on my hands and knees the entire time polishing. So maybe I could take the hardware out one by one as I get to it. We're going to do the best we can with what we got. That's kind of the name of the game with everything that I do. So if I did anything bad with taping, then I don't know, go tell somebody else about it, because this is what I got. I didn't quite get into these edges here because this is recessed back here, so I think I'm just going to go kind of over this corner, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. Hopefully I'm right with that, but pretty sure I can just steer clear of the gauges and whatnot. I'm only going to go along this edge here. So I'll get the gas cap covered up. That's going to be a lot of fun with the circle and thick tape, but we'll come back after that is done, and then we're going to start clay barring. We're on the next step. I feel like I'm already losing my mind and we're just starting, so this is not the best. Clay bar. Directions say complete all steps in the shade on a cool surface that has been washed with a pH balanced car wash, such as something that's not included. So basically with this stuff, you get a bottle of usually a quick detailer. Yep. This is just your lubricant. There's a couple microfibers in here too. How nice of them. And we got 3. I should keep reading the directions, but I'm not gonna bore you with that. 3 pieces of clay. So basically, layman's terms, what I understand about a clay bar is washing a vehicle only gets so much off. In all of these little swirls and stuff that I was showing you, you're still gonna have grit, you're still gonna have grease and grime and whatnot. That's where this comes in. This has enough, I don't know actually what works, if it's the texture of it, if it's the material, but rubbing this over the surface with, spray it down with this, use this, and it takes all of the deep contaminants out of the paint, where if you were to polish, you would just grind it in farther. So this is another step to get the surface as clean as possible before you polish it, so that you have a nice smooth finish and you are only applying the polish and removing fractional amounts of the paint to get below those scratches before we seal it back in with the ceramic coat. So I'm going to read the rest of the directions, and then we're going to get started on this real soon. Okay, the rest of the directions are pretty straightforward. We're going to mold this guy into a nice little disc. Hopefully I can stop crinkling here in a second. We're going to mold our clay into a little disc so that we have a nice predictable size and surface to go through. So I'm going to knead this up, and then we're going to go to town on getting this thing all clay barred. This is pretty impressive. You can actually see the grit. I mean, there is, please. There is, obviously it's black. I would assume that's the color that's going to come off of, but you can see the specific little bits of grit actually in there. At first, when you're rubbing this around, you'll feel it get kind of stuck, and then as you swipe it around with light pressure on it, you can feel that it just starts gliding. over top of it. So it kind of sounds like you're brushing something first, like you're running your hand over your t-shirt, and then when it's done, it's completely silent and it'll just glide right over the surface. So when we get this, and we're going to roll it back into it so that we're not just pushing the contaminants around. We want to pick more of them up, obviously. And the more grit and grime that you have exposed in your clay is only going to make your paint worse, which we're trying to fix. So I'll get this kneaded back in, make myself a nice little disc again, and then we'll keep going. Clay bar, when you're done with this, I only used one out of the three because it's pretty small. I just kept kneading it. If it's getting real dark, I don't know how much it's going to show. There's a little bit of grit. This isn't too bad. But when I was kneading it, I was still seeing that there was good clear spots coming out of it, or white, I guess. Non-contaminated parts that were coming out of it. So I figured it was okay to keep using the same one. This is also for a car, it's not for a motorcycle. You're obviously talking about a fraction of the overall size. But let's give you an update here. So, I don't have the best lighting in here. The scratches do not come out with the clay bar, but I think there's a huge difference in the color. It's much deeper, much more vibrant. You can see the light in it a lot better. This is what I noticed the one time that I polished anything. I was gonna quit just after the clay bar because I didn't have incredible swirl marks in my paint, but the color on this looks just incredible now. And I did wipe this wheel off. It looks like my wheel cleaner is still kind of eaten into the adhesive of old wheel weights. A little bit right in the center there, so I just wiped it up. It's not the finish, not the powder coating coming off, thankfully, but powder coat's pretty strong anyway. So now I only did a quick bit with the clay bar, but I'm only assuming that you wipe it, it sounds gritty, and then you keep wiping and the grit goes away. I'm only assuming that means it's done, so this doesn't need to be an incredible process. And I'm doing a Spartan race tomorrow I'm doing a Spartan race in Killington, Vermont. I think I've mentioned it before, but I went far above and beyond what I had to do so that I could film it. So hopefully I don't destroy my camera, but I did pretty good last year, so hopefully we can better our results for this year. It's just a 5K, but Killington, if you've done a Spartan race and you've done a flat one, I'm jealous because I've only done Killington, and that shit sucks because it's on a ski mountain. If you're not familiar with what Killington is, big ski mountain in Killington, Vermont. So anyway, that's tomorrow, so I got to try to get some sleep, and I don't want this to take all day. So we're clay barring. Now we're done clay barring, and now we're going to start polishing. So I'm just going to do a once over on the body panel portions of this. So like I said, not touching the frame, not touching the plastic. We're just going to do the painted plastic here, the tank, and then the front fairing as well as the side cowling here. So hopefully we can just get through this little bit of these swirl marks here, not take too much of the paint away, not have this take all day, and then we'll work on the ceramic coat. It needs 24 hours to cure, so probably check back in tomorrow after the race for the final product, which you guys will still see in this video too. When I'm all done ceramic coating, it's just gotta sit and not be out in the elements, not be exposed to anything for at least 24 hours, I think it's up. So enough rambling. This is gonna be a long video, and I'm sorry, but if you made it to this point, you should already subscribe, but I'm gonna tell you again at the end of the video, so I'll stop. All right, I did a little research while I was gone. So I didn't want to do a 2-stage cut. I wanted to do just a 1-stage, keep it nice and light, but I can't quite figure out what the pad colors are, so we're gonna start with the wool pad, which is a heavy cut, but we're gonna go real light on this, see what kind of results we get. If they're good, we're gonna keep going. Nice light pressure, and I'm going to keep the variable the same of I'm only going to use this one polish. I'm not going to use any sort of different heavy or light cut. So we're just going to keep this as a variable. So this thing needs some help. So we're gonna start in a spot that's always gonna get hit, like right here where you're always gonna slide into and stuff like that. So not in a big obvious panel on the edge of anything. That's always going to be clear and free. If you have a little spot in here that maybe, I'm rambling. Assumingly whatever I do, I'm going to be able to get out with the Finish foam pad. And this one is super, super soft. So this with some nice light pressure should be perfect. 2-stage is obviously going to give better results anyway, so let's see how we do. So this is pretty lightly buffed, but this is what we're starting with up here. Okay, a lot of grit. And this is what it went to down here. So this graphene stuff, this polish, kind of makes it look a little blue. But well, that's actually only in the camera. It's a little more gray in person. It looks very blue. You know what? I got a natural light. Oh, that's way more convincing. Okay. So we still actually got some scratches in there that looks like they'll come out. Again, I'm trying to quit while I'm ahead here. This is also not a finish cut with a real light pad that should take all that out, but I think I'm just gonna go to town on the rest of the bike with exactly what I got going on here. Give it a good once over with a wool pad and that graphene black polish. We'll give it a good once over, and then I'll come back to you before I do the finish cut. I'm really trying not to overwork any one area. This is barely just warm. Yeah, okay. So a big thing from what I remember with polishing is you absolutely do not want too much heat in the area that you're working on. So, meaning you don't want to work this same patch over and over and over and over and over again and just keep cranking on that one spot. It'll get too hot. It'll start melting the paint basically and burning straight through it. And also edges, like this tank is full of edges. There's a crease right here on both sides. There's a little pocket next to the gas tank. The whole perimeter is a dome shape, this whole back piece. There's pretty much only one flat spot on it right here. And all those edges you want to be super careful on, because your buffing head that's this big is only going to have pressure along that crease, basically. So you start running into trouble really, really fast, which I absolutely do not want to do, because burning through the paint on this thing would mean you'd have to get all new stickers, you'd have to take the tank off, drain it out, bring it to a spot that's going to match it. Paint's however old at this point. So really trying not to go through the paint. So I'm putting almost no pressure on anything that I'm doing at all. I'm literally just setting the machine down on top of the paint. But this, I gotta keep moving. This looks incredible. Man, this is crazy. So with the wool pad, that inherently is going to make more scratches, theoretically, because this is going to cut. And then when you're all done, you come back with a really, really ultra soft pad, just glaze over the top. It's like if you're into woodworking, you sand with 200 grit, then you sand with 600 grit, then you sand with 800, 1000. That's all you're doing, is you're just working your way down. But man, does this polish splatter. I know I'm putting too much on I'm still learning the amount that it likes. But man, this stuff is going everywhere. It's all over me. It's probably, I'm gonna have a half black car by the time I'm done. Whatever. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna talk all day if I keep doing that. Kind of just did the two small sections to start. I can do the tank, that's kind of its own thing, it doesn't border anything, and this tailpiece by the passenger seat is going to be its own thing as well. It's not quite coming out on camera, it's still really showing all the super fine imperfections, but that is inherently going to come with using the pad. I also don't know if this pad that I'm using might actually be for metal polishing, but seems to be doing pretty good. So, I mean, I guess grit is grit. So it's not making any swirls. I'm going to keep going just as I am here. So if I am using a metal polishing pad and that is incorrect, please let me know in the comments. I will take any and all constructive criticism. But I did this piece first cut and the tank. And now we're going to get into the not fun spot. Because I don't want to do all the way completely underneath the whole bike, all the way down to the very bottom here. But I would like to do, imagine the bike standing upright, someone sitting next to you in a car. I'm sitting right next to the driver's seat of my car here. You're going to be able to see down right to the very bottom of the bike. So I'm not going to do the underside per se, but I'm going to go as much as I can on the bottom. So the sun's going to start hurting me here in a second. I probably should have done this in a different order. It's going to add extra unnecessary heat to the paint, but it should go behind the trees pretty soon, so I don't think I'll have this to deal with for too long. Then it should be easier with just this overhead light to work with. Kind of just doing what I can, but it looks pretty good, so I'm getting antsy. While I have the sun in this spot, I might do the final cut up here on these two spots just to see what the final product is going to look like before I have to lay all the way down here on the ground. But I'm definitely covered, and you can't tell on camera. It looks like I've been spray painting and I had the nozzle facing the wrong way. It's kind of what it looks like, but tis what it is. So bike looks great so far. It's going very well. When we're all done with this, I'm going to try to ceramic coat it all in one shot. So we're just going to have to surface prep it, and then that's just a wipe on and wipe the excess away. So that should be relatively straightforward. So this is actually going a lot faster than I thought, but I can't keep stopping to talk. So up in the front here, when I do get to that, I think I am going to do take this hardware out one piece at a time, work over top of it, put it right back in. That seems to be about probably the easiest way to do that, because there is going to be a ring no matter how hard I try around this hardware, and I don't want to take it all the way off. So
Granted, it probably would be easier just to do that, but I like seeing how the color looks at the angle that it's going to sit at. So we're just going to keep trucking along. I'm going to see what kind of damage I can hopefully not do, but hopefully we'll get this knocked out pretty soon, and then we can move on to the next step, being ceramic coating. Hopefully that goes pretty well. It looks relatively straightforward from what I'm seeing, but I am a little scared because you can make it look like hard water spots. But I'm getting into a ramble fest again, so I'm going to keep polishing. I'm going to set you guys back up over there. Sorry if it's not the best angle, but I don't have a lot of room in here to keep switching camera angles and stuff. I got to just keep moving. Hope you understand. All right, I'm getting antsy. This is our final cut pad. I'm going to use this just so that I have the front fairing will have just clay bar, either the tail section or the tank. Probably the tank will be the final cut. I'll have all three sections. I'll have first cut, second cut, and pre-polish. So that should be that'll be pretty cool just to have the comparison. So I hope this does exactly what I want it to and really takes all of the last swirls of the previous pad away. So let's see how that goes. So I did some experimenting. I wasn't quite getting the results that I wanted from the lightest pad, the lightest cut pad. So let's take a look. So I still had some marks. This is all kind of just splatter. I was just working on this side of the tank. So it looks pretty killer, but I just wasn't quite happy with it. And the material was burning really fast. My polish itself was starting to get real hot and like melting to the tank. So now we're on this side. I went one step up on the cut, and I didn't quite do the most perfect job with getting to everything, but this is exactly what I wanted. In person, this is pretty much perfect. And granted, this isn't brand new paint. There's a lot of deep scratches. I mean, the gas tank, you're going to be fishing with the key to fill your gas up. You're going to spill gas on it. You're going to be riding up against the spot on the back of the tank. So this isn't going to look perfect. And theoretically, the ceramic coat is going to fill in the last of those little minor imperfections. So I am super pleased with how it's coming out right now. I'm going to go on the one step higher pad. Seems to be a little happier with the material. I should probably go down in size because it's catching on all the weird little spots. I should probably just do the smaller one anyway, but we'll see how that goes. But this is working pretty well for right now. So I'm going to keep working. The sun is going away, so it's not going to be baking on the bike soon enough. But this thing is going to look brand friggin' new by the time I'm done with it. I'm going to have to get a paddock stand, tell Steven to give me the thing back so I can polish the wheels. Because the wheels are, granted, they're kind of brushed. At least 7,000 miles and almost 20 years of life made them look brushed. They look brushed right now. But this paint is going to just, it's going to pop. It's definitely going to pop. It's never going to look perfect again. But granted, I'm also looking at it with a light. Really, really digging into every last little bit of a look on it. I'm just looking at it just by eye right now. It looks absolutely incredible. So I'm super pleased. I might just put the camera right down. I'm running out of batteries. I'll do the whole first cut. I think you've probably got enough time lapse by now anyway. So I'll have little bits and pieces, but I can't film this entire thing. I'm gonna have 8 hours of footage by the time I'm all done with it of me doing the exact same thing.
over and over and over again. So I'm gonna shut you off. I'm gonna listen to some music because I haven't done that this whole time. And I'm just gonna put my head down, I'm gonna get to work, and I'm probably gonna come back to you when the sun's down. So, yeah, catch you in a bit. All right, I got all my fans on in here because it was starting to get hot, so forgive me for that. But I got the tank and the tail section as done as it's gonna get for polishing. So, I'm gonna show you without a light, because I'm pretty sure with the camera, without the light is the most comparable to what I'm seeing. So the tank is down to the second cut, or down the final cut, I guess I should say, the polish. And this tail section is also on the final bit of it, what it's going to be. This is completely polished up. I mean, the color, if nothing else, is just incredible. This is a really cool color. I know, like people say with black paint that it's all kind of the same, and, you know, it's a pain to keep it looking nice. But man, when it does look nice, a real deep black paint like this just looks absolutely awesome. I mean, you could do your makeup in this. Look at it. That's sick. So yeah, this is done. My rag that I've been final polishing off the excess material with the machine is getting a little caked, but I like that it has a little bit of lubrication, a little bit of extra material. So when I'm all done with the whole thing, I'm gonna get a new good microfiber like that, and I'm gonna hand polish the rest of the excess off, because this is just spraying, but I wanted it to look the best so that I could show what it's going to look like. But I came to terms a little bit with the almost 20-year-old paint. There's some scratches. There's one you can see right here. There's a couple vertical ones right here. There's a lot of scratches that just aren't gonna come out. You'd go through the paint. And you can see a little bit better right here now. This edge I was talking about right here, there's an edge right here, there's a little valley right here, there's a peak all the way around the gas tank, and all those edges are super prone to burning through. So luckily when I change the pad, this doesn't get as hot as fast with that red colored pad, the super soft one. That one was getting the material too hot, too fast, and it would like cake it on. But luckily I haven't gone through the paint, so I can't give you an example, but it looked a lot like that. It'll go just super flat. It'll look like primer, no depth, no shine when you go through the paint. So when you see that, you are SOL at that point, pretty much. So luckily I haven't yet to do that. Let's keep it that way. The plastic is actually easier to polish from what I've seen. It does not build any heat hardly at all. The tank, if I work the same spot for a little while, it would start to get hot pretty quickly. The plastic, I was touching it and it was gaining pretty much no heat whatsoever, which is really cool. So I have yet to start on the front portion, which I'm looking at and you're not. I haven't started anything up here, either fairing or the windshield section, but this should be pretty quick, other than the pain part is going to be down here. I'm going to have to lay down, I guess, and do that. Then I'm going to try to do the whole thing, first cut real quick. I'll go back over it, second cut. I'm going to wipe the whole bike down. I'm gonna make sure that I got every single little nook and cranny, everything removed off of it. Then we're gonna surface prep it and get it ready for ceramic coat. So, both side fairings, the front cowl, and the fender is all that I got. So I'm gonna put the camera back down because I've been working a lot faster and not burning through batteries so fast without having the camera on. So you get the gist. I've probably said what I'm doing 15 times now, so whatever, you get the point. So I'm gonna put you back down, little progress update, stay tuned. It's almost dark outside, like I said, it'll be dark next time for sure. I'm glad I just put the camera down. It's been hours. It's 10 o'clock exactly right now. I think I checked in with you last at 5:30. It's been a long time, okay? I put the camera down, I did a lot of figuring out. After I said I came back and I got a different pad. so that I could cut a little heavier on my final cut and still have it come out being looking good. This bike's 18 years old. There's a few spots that look incredible, that look brand new, but on this side where there's damage, there's scratches, I don't even know if I mentioned, it's been down on the right side. I did mention that. I definitely mentioned that. So let's start on the good side here. I just plugged my light in. I'll get a different one. Back here, looks incredible. Outstanding. There's still some swirls. They look way worse on this camera screen. Maybe it'll come out looking better when I'm editing it, but I really just didn't wipe up good in here. So that's just some leftover polish. The tank looks pretty awesome. The lettering came out great. This sticker's pretty faded. You can see the cracks in it. I wanted to leave it because it shows that it is, you know, aged. It's not a brand new bike. But the tank looks pretty great. Back in here, there's a few scratches that didn't really come out too good. But, I mean, better, but it doesn't look brand new, I guess is what I should be saying. This down here all looks great. I removed a lot of old adhesive that was in here, here, up this way. So it must have been that big livery that was on it. But the color and the depth of it, I mean, look at the reflection in that. Don't mind my junk in the garage, but man, that's crazy. So, same kind of thing up here with the reflection. That's pretty impressive. That's honestly the first I've looked at that. But there's a few spots, like back in here, it's got some scratches. This adhesive didn't really come out on either side. That was the last spot I was working on, was over here. And this spot I just about burnt through the paint, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not gonna touch that. But it looks like somebody was etching on this thing to try to get something off that little square just below my light right there. I mean, look at it. This is how it's going to be seen most of the time. Who's going to be up here with this bright light trying to get all the scratches to be visualized? But some swirls in here, but that's kind of where your leg's going to run, so that's not really the worst. It looks fantastic like this. That's so cool. But you put a light up to it and you can tell pretty quick that there's still marks in it. Again, I'm hoping that ceramic's going to fill it in a little bit. These are still really obvious. I thought the color would at least change the pigment of it a little bit. But if you do that, I mean, you can't even tell in the dark. If it were kind of indirect light, you'd definitely still be able to tell, but I think it helped. Up in here, there's a lot of scratches, a lot of little ones that I didn't even see until I was really in here looking at it. Whole bunch of stuff in there, but look at the reflection. So much depth back in this. So, I don't quite know what to do about the plastic and stuff like that. Windshield's over there. So that's gonna have a ton of swirls left in it. So I think I might just do like, I'm probably gonna have to do the same thing on that. And I'm gonna look at the condition of the headlights, but I'd like to put some, I'll read if the ceramic coat works good on plastic and stuff, but at least everything on the front, I wanna put the ceramic coat on. Like this textured plastic is all perfect. So if I can put it on there and it doesn't make a silly texture or something, I hand polished this front fender a little bit because I can't get the polisher in there. So that looks pretty good, but I think I've given enough of an overview now. So the bike looks great. Two-step polishing, exactly why I didn't want to do that is because it's gonna be the middle of the night by the time I go to bed. And I'm gonna go run one of the hardest 5Ks, arguably on the planet, tomorrow. So that's pretty cool, by choice. I'm doing it because it's fun and I want to, because I'm a maniac. What else? Ceramic coat. Yeah, that's all that's left. Surface prep. I'll read the directions and I'll get back with you again. In the box, we have a single soft plush towel and a single soft plush towel.
Must be plush and single. Glass bottles, all this stuff. Nope.
One glass bottle.
Excuse me. We got 2 spray heads. We got
2 applicators. Bottle of Surface Prep. Oh, this is, they advertise these, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm stupid, as like a bottle like this size, but I don't, it looked like a full-size spray bottle. So this is a one-time thing, this whole thing. Graphene Boost and Surface Prep. The Surface Prep is really the reason why I bought this kit, so I'm a little annoyed that I spent $100 on it. I think it was $100, but Adams Polishes is awesome stuff. So I'll read about the Graphene Boost, but I think that might be just like help it stay good after you've applied it. So that might not be an immediate thing. And then we got the Graphene Ceramic Coating. This is the silver one. There is a gold. Allegedly it's better because it's more expensive. And we got some rubber gloves. I'm not going to use those. And a couple like chamois towels, or maybe just one big one. Nope, 2 of them. These are a weird material. They feel like the really heavy duty like paper towels, like the cloth paper towels that are still disposable. They kind of feel like that. But that's what we got in the box. Seen where applied using the Adams UV flashlight. Luckily, I have a UV light on one of my Harbor Freight lights. Patent pending UV tracing technology. Where the hell are the directions? Directions. This just is like a sales pitch. Appropriate to add long-lasting extreme hydrophobic effects for single-stage and clear-coated painted surfaces, glass, plastic, trim, polycarbonate, rubber molding, and wheels with a single bottle. We've increased the size to a 60 milliliter bottle to accommodate the added surface area usage. 9H hardness, 7+ years of ceramic, 7+ years or more of ceramic protection. Free to apply to everything. Painted surfaces, glass, headlights, chrome, trim, wheels, and even bed liners. That's pretty cool. Where the direction? Is it on the bottle? Don't drink it. You know, I don't need a lot of direction. I just kind of wanted a vague thing to follow that I could ignore. But now that it's not here, now it feels wrong. Maybe I'll look for application instructions online. All right, I don't know if this is the common way to do this. It didn't say anything on Amazon, so I went on Adams Polish's website and I found a lot of information. I found the stuff that I have sitting here. The instructions for everything that I can see. Paint and glass, plastic and headlights, wheels, are all specifically listed with the same instructions. So that's quite interesting. Not in the box again, so what cloth does it say? Single soft towels, suede removal towels. This is pretty complicated. I mean, allegedly it should be good, but prepare your painted surface or glass with using the Surface Prep. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. I could probably figure that part out. And the Surface Prep towel. What is the Surface Prep towel? Is that single soft plush towel? Removing compound and polish, removing waxes, glazes, and sealants. Wiping away quick detailers such as detail spray, spray wax, etc. Wiping away surface prep before applying ceramic coating. Okay. Step 1 for applying this ceramic coating is going to be spray surface prep and then use the plush towel to remove it. That's step 1. Alright. For best results, users must wash, clay, decontaminate, and polish their paint prior to application. We have every single one of those things done. Multiple times. Open the coating bottle, apply numerous drops of the ceramic liquid onto the supplied micro silk applicator. Ceramic coating goes on these. Cross hatching pattern, overlap your previous pass by 25 to 50%.
Use a UV flashlight for inspection. Take note of body line, bumper areas, mirror caps, commonly missed areas in your vehicle to ensure a thorough application. The light should shine and reveal an even and consistent bluish hue of light. If you notice streaking in the surfaces, level it out with an additional product using the Micro Silk applicator. Once the recently applied product begins to characteristically flash and sweat, yeah, characteristically, I totally understand what that characteristic is. Sweat into beads. Begin wiping the coating off, applying minimal pressure to the towel in the process. Wipe down in a similar cross-hatch pattern as applied, switching and flipping the towel periodically to use a new face to fully level the coating. Once fully leveled, allow the coating to fully cure for 24 hours free from water, elements, or weathering. So that part is exactly what I thought. Alright, since that was a totally different language to me, I think I have an understanding. Like I said, we're going to go step one is going to be surface prep and this towel to completely remove it and dry it. I'm going to go all around the whole bike and then start where I began spraying this so it has enough time for all of the things that this is going to do to go away. So that's step one. Step two is going to be ceramic coating, drip on applicator, cross hatch. Characteristically, wait for it to sweat. I don't know, it's gonna get scared or something. And then with these suede towels, I'm going to put minimal to light pressure to remove the product. At any which, in the cross-hatching pattern too. Yep, don't forget that part. Yep. I knew you did. I'm here for you. Similar cross-hatching pattern to remove. What's the graphene boost? What does that do? Does it say on here? Apply to a cool, clean surface by spraying a fine mist onto one panel at a time or directly into a premium microfiber towel. Wipe into surface and flip towel over to a fresh side and wipe again for a streak-free shine. Repeat on remainder of exterior. For use when washing as drying aid. After vehicle has been rinsed and is still wet, mist each panel, glass and plastic. Use a clean drying towel to dry the vehicle completely. What in the world? This is where they probably get you. This is probably a $20 bottle, and I'm just gonna not use it. To me, graphene boost, if the ceramic coating is literally called graphene ceramic coating, that helps this. So after you wash it, after it's all installed, I'd probably spray that on there. That's just my guess. You know, because this is supposed to keep it away, but that's gonna help this. You know, you get what I mean? Are you catching? If there was a drift, would you be catching it right now? I'm not ready to do this for sure, but I guess I'm as ready as I'm ever gonna be. So again, I'm probably not gonna waste a bunch of time recording the whole thing that I'm just gonna do over and over. So I'm gonna do the paint first. When I'm done with the paint, it says you can put it on plastic, but I don't know about this texture. I didn't really wash that. I could surface prep all of it. The frame, I'm not gonna do like the rear sets. I don't really know where to draw the line on what to or not to do. I'm gonna surface prep. Quit interrupting me, please, okay? I'm just gonna get going. You know, I just want, before I go, alright, I lied. Why would they give you a spray thing that's a third longer than the bottle? I think they're just admitting that they're supposed to give you the full-size bottles. But they gypped me. Count your days, Amazon, okay? Kidding. That's, for legal purposes, that's a joke. Surface prep for the 10th time. Surface prep. And a plush. One plush coming up. Surface prep. Wow, this is a soft towel. Wow, this smells fantastic. Now that I'm doing this, I'm realizing it probably would be a good idea to take my tape off now. Is it? Do I want to do the plat? I don't know how that's going to turn out. I think I'm just going to cut my losses at what is taped is not going to get ceramic coated. It is plastic, but it's all different textures, and I don't know how it's going to react, and I don't really have time to see what's going to react in what way. The frame is its own thing. So we got, this is a textured plastic for your knees. This is a different texture. The chain guard is plastic. The swing arm's aluminum. The frame is aluminum. This up by the gauges is a different texture. I think I'm just gonna not do that. But the whole front end I am gonna do, so I should take the covers off, the tape off the blinkers and the headlights. I'm just gonna surface prep those unless they're really bad. No, I'm just gonna surface prep those. That's the best that's gonna happen. They're replaceable anyway. You know, he could put brand new blinkers on this thing the second I give it back to him. Who knows? All right, let's go up front now. In the dark, I guess. This is just a glimpse real quick. Kind of looks like a bee right now. So we're I'm gonna leave this tape on down here on this plastic. I should just put it on that. It's too late for me to be asking people. I could ask Steve, but I can't tell him. It's gotta be a surprise. I'm gonna make a executive decision here. Snout, headlights, blinkers. That's it. I gotta do the windshield right now. And for reference, this is why the windshield needs to be treated. Because I just spent hours making this thing look so shiny, and I can't put this back on now. I think I'm just gonna set it on my knee and just see what happens with the exact same polish. It's not, you can see it's still transparent, but I think using paint polish I should be okay, because it's very, very dark. Not doing the inside, just the outside. Up to this edge so I don't rip these washers out. I'm just gonna do it, okay? It's gonna be done. I'm gonna put it back in the bike. You're never gonna know, but I'm telling you right now. Okay, goodbye. Is it better? Yes. Is it perfect? No. Kind of burnt through the plastic a little bit right here, but I might get lucky and the ceramic might fill it in, make it look good as new. So this will perfectly fit the rest of the bike. I just gave it a quick little polish with the lightest cut in the pad that I changed away from because it was too thin. It was too fine, I guess. I'm still going to do it off the bike to coat it because the hardware goes on the outside where the windshield mounts to the inside. If I did it this way, I would then have the hardware in my way on these 6 spots. So I'm gonna leave it as is for now. I'm gonna do the bike, and then maybe I'll even put the windshield back on, and I'll do this completely separately. Am I ready to do this? Nope. Am I opening the applicator pads to put on my first ever ceramic coat on not even my vehicle? So if I screw it up, it's just screwed up. It's not like well, I learned something. It's just someone else is gonna have to bear the brunt of my what happened. Yeah, I'm not ready. But if I'm gonna do it, I gotta just do it. So, I got my pad out. Remembering my cross hatching technique, 25 to 50% overlapping each direction. It's gonna characteristically sweat. And when it does that, I'm gonna wipe it off. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wipe it off at that point. My UV light is over there. I should probably get that ready. Oh man, I'm concerned. I'm really concerned, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know I think you can just polish this stuff back off if necessary, but I don't want to. I want it to be done. Also, when I get done with doing this, I gotta go back over the whole bike, everywhere that the polish splattered, and wipe the whole thing up again. So I might as well just be starting from scratch for the third time. I don't know what to do. Do I stand up? Do I sit down? This is probably, you know, I'm gonna polish a motorcycle. Yeah, sure, do it. Ooh, I'm gonna put ceramic coating on it. I don't know. Where do I start? Numerous drops. Oh, that comes out fast. Oh, that's definitely numerous. It kind of smells nice. I'm looking for characteristic sweating. Is that characteristic sweating? Is that what it's doing? I'm gonna wipe it because I'm scared. I may have done that preemptively. I think I did. I don't think that was characteristic. I don't exactly think that's what I needed. Well, maybe that was characteristic. The characteristic, it's not really that much of a characteristic trait if you don't know what the characteristic, like, if you've never read Winnie the Pooh, it doesn't really have any relevance to you. I don't know, that kind of looks exactly the same as when I did it before. I'm going to do it again and give it more time to be characteristic. Oh my god, this actually kind of smells like shit. Checking for characteristics. Checking. I don't see any characteristics. I don't see anything happening. I'm pretty sure that was too early again. How do I know? How are you supposed to just have it figured out? Why do you make this is complicated. You know, I've kind of figured the complicated one would be the good one because they like, you know, a lot of steps. Maybe that was characteristic. I'm saying that a lot on purpose, by the way, okay? Don't flame me for it. I don't want to let it go too long. I don't know, man. Okay? I just work here. Numerous drops. I even got the cross hatching and all. You know, you can see it. I'm doing the cross hatching. I'm overlapping and all. Look at that cross hatch. It's beautiful. It's actually a thing of art in itself. I still don't see a damn thing that's characteristic. That kind of looks like sweat. Now I guess I can check if I'm wiping it off with my UV light. Would it help to... Dark as shit in there now. Bluish. I definitely see it. Okay. Alright, I missed the very front of the tank. This would be impossible. I would argue this is more green, personally. Okay, yeah, you can totally see it. I think I gotta let it set a little bit longer. I gotta do the very front of the tank and the side of the tank. And then we're alright, we're off to the damn races, okay? I'm gonna turn the lights on. Can you see that at all? Oh, you can. Okay. But you can't see what it puts off. Maybe you can. I'm very entertained by this, if you can't tell. All right? Woo! So I got the tank done. I'm trying not to kill my UV light. But in person, I can tell you it's much harder to see the characteristic sweating that they're talking about, but it does go on super smooth and then it kind of gets streaky, and I think that's the sweat because it looks like little beads kind of forming in the streaks about 5 to 10 seconds after I'm done wiping. And I've been kind of doing, you know, I've been doing it to feel, but I go crosshatch both directions, and then I kind of go back to the first again. I don't know, it just, so I end up doing 3 passes in varying sized areas. But I think, you know, if you could focus, I think that looks pretty incredible. Incredible. That's a new word. Take the rest of the tape off. This is also the texture I was talking about. You got this in here. You got a dimpling in here. This is just the aluminum. I took these side panels off, but here's one of them. That's kind of just a flat looking texture. I don't know. I don't want it all to look different, I guess, but I'm not, there's going to be so many areas I'm not going to be able to do no matter what. Like, I'm not going to do the handlebars. That would be a pain, getting in all these teeny tiny little spots. I can't really do the gauges. I feel like this will be a good amount of the bike. Almost fell, don't mind that. I'd like to do the frame, but there's a lot of inaccessible areas of that. I don't really want to stop it on a harsh line, like up here where it goes under the bars. I think what I'm doing will be a pretty good number. Again, not doing the wheels, but that's gonna have to be what it is. Doing the wheels would be awesome, being that brake pads in motorcycles are softer and therefore create more brake dust. I'm nerding and rambling now. I'm gonna put some more of this characteristic sweating ceramic coat on that's also UV activated. Did you get all that? I wanted to put you in the darkest corner so it's hardest for you to see, but I can get a reasonable time lapse out of it. How's that sound? Agreement? We're in agreement? Cool. You're not here to say no, so I guess that works. Doing this side sucks because it leans this way. You heard? The other side's not so bad. This side sucks. Spicy sweet chili. Do you like or not like? Comment below. Right now. The reflection of the camera on my garage window looked like a face, and it just scared the living shit out of me. More importantly than that, spicy sweet chili or not. I dropped this. If you're doing this, the floor is truly lava. Even if you can't see grit on it, it's there. And I know there is because I've been stepping on it all day. But tank, tailpiece are done. Now I have the fairings and the whole front. I guess that would be a fairing too, and the front fender. We're getting there. The home stretch, and I only have one more. One of these. This is the last one, so I better not drop this one. Sorry my garage is so messy and shit. Nothing I'm gonna do about it right now. I'm just sorry. I don't know. This didn't fill in quite like I thought. You know, the whole point of this is it becomes super smooth because the ceramic properties, all the little tiny micro bumps in your paint, fills those. So I guess I thought it would have filled in a little bit more. The scratches are still there, is what I'm saying. The ones that I thought were completely out and looked great, it's 20 years old now. I can't really be too upset about that. Numerous drops coming up, still coming up. There they are. Oh, that's a lot. I'm pretty sure it's starting to sweat already, and I'm still wiping. Crank is done, rear section's done, this side is done. All we got over here, all we have is over here now. I'm having second thoughts about this tape on here. I'd like to do the frame and stuff, but it says don't expose it to water for 24 hours, so I kind of screwed myself because I can't use the surface prep. Starting my journey of ceramic coating on a motorcycle probably wasn't the best idea. However, it's coming out pretty outstanding, so I can't really complain about that, I guess. I need to see some good results, some like really, really good stuff. So I'm gonna use my dry towel, go back, and just wipe. Just so I can feel good about myself, you know? I just want to feel something. Oh man, alright. Yeah, this is the ticket. This is what I needed. Just a little boost I needed to get me through the end. That suede towel, you can kind of scrub with it, but it doesn't really get it. You know, it's not really it. I don't know what it is, but if I found it, I would know it, and that's not it. You know? So we're just giving a little buff. Not really important to see, it's not really changing the results. It's just making it feel a little better. Man, I tell you what. I don't know about sunlight. I feel like that would be a big kicker. This thing looks like $1,000,000. I expected it was gonna look good, okay? You know, like, I know myself, I know my capabilities. I was not expecting it to look great. And like I said, I'm hard on the quitting while I'm ahead. So if there's a scratch I really wanted to get out, but I think I'm gonna burn through the paint and have to replace something or do something really big and involved, I'm not going that far. So for erring on the side of caution with polishing, doing a two-step polish for the first time and ceramic coating for the first time, I'm blown away by how good this came out. I mean, I wish truly it came across as good on that camera as it is in person. I mean, without all the lights looking at it and stuff, this thing is friggin' killer. That's awesome. I love it. My poor bike. That thing's been sitting right there all year. I've ridden that scooter in front of it more miles this year by almost 100% than I have that motorcycle. All right, we got one more side left, then we're done. I'm back. I don't think I've stopped talking this whole time. It's 12:30 a.m. now. I just completed the ceramic coat on the bike. If anything, I'm gonna do the windshield, and then I'm gonna call it I'm good. It came out fantastic. I was gonna do a video on doing the maintenance on this thing too. All I'm gonna do is an oil change and flush the brake fluid. So I went to go pick this thing up, from the man, the myth, the legend's house. And I thought I was going crazy because I thought the clutch was on this side. I mean, I can squeeze the front brake to touch the handlebar, and it is an adjustable lever, and it is set all the way out. So it kind of came back a little bit, and there is fluid in there, but I think a majority of that may be water. So we're gonna put some RBF 660 front and rear. Rear brake is quite responsive, so maybe that's out of the elements down there. Fluid is low. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna swap the brake fluid. That's probably gonna be the big thing. And I got 4 quarts Kawasaki oil, a filter, a crush washer, and we're gonna do an oil change in that, and lube the chain up too, because about nobody does that. And if the oil hasn't been changed in this thing in the amount of time that I think it hasn't been changed, it needs a chain lubed. Might need a little tension on it too, but I'm not. That might be a service tech's thing. You know, this isn't a dirt bike. You're not doing 60 on this thing, you're doing 160 on this thing. And if your chain's a little bit too tight, I don't want to be responsible when it goes through somebody's leg. So, oil change, brake fluid. Not gonna put that in this video because this is hours of footage already, so I think this is more than enough for a video, and I think this is probably a little bit more interesting than watching an oil change. Anyway, this thing's done for now. Till I get the windshield mounted back up, the mirrors. I'm gonna do the windshield off of the bike. I'm gonna leave the seats off and stuff so that it has time to cure, not get in the way of anything. I probably could take this tape off. It's probably dry to the touch, but I don't want to smear anything. You know, I could probably do that. So, anyway, tape's gonna come off. Seat's gonna go back on. I'll put some good vinyl cleaner on that. I gotta clean up the rest of these splatters from buffing it. Granted, that's all gonna get covered up, but the face of the gauge has, they're hard to see apparently. There they are. Splatters on it. So, gotta clean that up, but that should be pretty easy. Might just bring it back outside and give it another wash tomorrow. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be it for tonight, if anything. When I'm really tired tomorrow and I don't wanna do this, I'm gonna come back out and I'm gonna do this. So, it's gonna be 1 a.m. by the time I go to bed right now. I should probably just do that. But the ceramic coating is done. I'm really, really stoked on how this came out. Windshield goes back on, mirrors go back on, tape comes off, change oil, swap the brake fluid, bring it back to Steve. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yep. Till probably tomorrow. Good night. Hello, once again, guys. It's a new day. I just did my Spartan race that I talked about. I did pretty good. I came in the top 5%. So, it's, I enjoyed doing that. I feel like garbage. It was hot. It was an hour and 20 minutes of absolutely working my behind off. And I've had a headache. No matter how much water I drank, it was not enough. So, I also feel terrible, and I just want to go to bed. But mainly the headache is what's getting me. Anyway, we're back in the garage. As promised, sorry, I had enough of the video. I didn't show you. First of all, my garage is now a disaster, but that's for another time. Change the oil, filter, lube the chain, and swap the brake fluid. This front brake was absolutely awful. Now I got it all the way out, and it's not getting in there, so it feels much more solid. The fluid that came out of there was just about white on this side. Other side looked pretty okay, but I assume the lines just split. I don't know, I've never bled motorcycle brakes before. Rear really confidently worked, actually, so I was relying on that. The fluid that came out of this rear bleeder was brown with
obvious floating chunks of rust in it. So, ooh, I gotta put the plate back on this thing too. But in any case, the ceramic coating's done, the polish, all that, everything, all done. The maintenance I was going to do on it, also done, put back together in good working order, much better than it came in as. Not trying to be a mechanic shop, but I like helping my friends out, especially when they're cool people. So, I'm happy to do this. I think this bike looks incredible. I've not seen it in the sun. By the time I got back home today, it was already, by the time I got working on it, I should say, it was already getting dark out and I didn't have time to pull it outside, check it out in the sunlight. Everything's all done. I'm gonna put this plate back on and then we're gonna bring it back to Steve. Just a quick little snippet I wanted to jump in here and say thank you for watching another video. Probably a long one, more than likely. I'm just gonna be honest with what happened, okay? I'm gonna show a lot of in-depth stuff. I could glance over the top, but I think I'm gonna make this a pretty lengthy video. Hopefully it's pretty satisfying. But thank you guys for watching another video. I hope you stuck around till this point, and if you did, you should definitely subscribe, comment, like, tell your friends about the video, and check out the other stuff that we got on the channel. But we'll be back real soon. This is kind of an oddball, but I'll have a video with a Spartan race, another oddball, so we got some cool stuff that's gonna be on the channel or recently on the channel, so check us out, other socials, you know the deal. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Haunted Nights, Steve and Dylan, homies. Check them out on YouTube. They just hit 100K not too long ago. Just went to Europe, did a whole ghost hunting, paranormal investigation trip. They have a lot of interesting stuff, but their videos are all long too. So that's kind of what I'm gonna go for with this, a little homage to what they do. So go check them out too. They rock. I don't feel like I necessarily should be telling you about a page with 100K, but if you're here and you haven't checked them out, go check the homies out. Okay? Do it. But subscribe to me first and then go over there, you know. I feel like that's fair. Okay, really goodbye this time.